Hi, it's Victor here from SecPoint, and today we will discuss the necessity of vulnerability scanning. Some of the topics when you're doing vulnerability scanning, this can be the importance of scanning your local and your public networks. And this can be for incoming threats that are arising from the internet. Even if you have a local network, behind the perimeter and the firewall and intrusion prevention systems, it can be more easier than ever for local attackers to compromise the local systems. On your public network, you might have systems like web servers, mail servers, database servers, voice IP systems, routers, firewalls that can be wide open to the internet. There can also be human misconfigurations. For example, if there's a sysadmin that needs to open up a service or a port because he needs to get in remotely in a very short amount of time and forgets to close the open port again. Or it can just be a mistake, someone opens up a service or a port without even realizing it. The importance is that you're doing actually daily scans of your network, the local network and public network, or at least are doing weekly scans. And this way you can easily discover those misconfigurations or vulnerabilities. Another very popular thing are unnecessary services that are running. This can, for example, be a router running with open services to the internet that are just waiting to be found vulnerabilities in them, and they have no function at all, so they can just be closed. Another common thing can be outdated software. So you have some software running, for example, a web server or mail server, but it is simply outdated and the current software version is vulnerable and can be exploited. Another thing we see a lot, this is a default usernames. For example, if it's a web server, FTP server, SSH server, or router or some other type of service, and the default guest accounts are still running. Also very popular open shares. If somebody have opened up some shares to the network, this can be Windows shares, or even, for example, if you have a laptop and you go to the local Starbucks and you forgot to disable all your shares, other people might easily access them. It can also be sensitive linking into search engines such as Google. So if you search for your own domain name inside of Google, you might find interesting information that you had no idea has been linked on Google. Another thing can be unnecessary open ports. It can just be your firewall opens up some ports so an attacker can easily get in, even he shouldn't be able to. It can be undocumented software. For example, if you have a router or web server and they are laying around undocumented test scripts, for example. Then it can be remote connection services. If you have Telnet, SSH open to the whole world and not just to trusted IP addresses, and they suddenly get vulnerable, somebody can exploit the service. It can also be SQL servers like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and other services that are wide open to the net with their ports and are just waiting to be exploited. Then it can also be just backdoors in software. We see more and more software and hardware that comes from the manufacturer with backdoors. And also it can be outdated and vulnerable SSL certificates. And many times the company had no idea their SSL certificates expired or were running in a vulnerable way. It can also be web scripts that have been made by the organization or company itself or the web agency. For example, if they need to solve some kind of form on the site, like a postage form or something like that, and a programmer from the local company or the web agency, they just make the script. And because they're not security experts, there's a very big chance it is filled with vulnerabilities, such as command execution, information leaking, and all things. And when you're doing the scanning, you can easily discover those things. And there's also an automatic crawler that crawls your entire site and easily finds all the new files you might have put there yourself if they are linked to. So it is not just relying on a database, because for example, if you make your own scripts, they might not appear in a database. And this way, it can be possible to identify those vulnerabilities. So if you have any questions for doing vulnerability scanning, just post in the comments below this video, or you can just email Victor at SecPoint.com or go on our live chat and we can help you very fast. Thank you for watching this video and have a secure day.